When I first moved into the neighborhood, I noticed one neighbor stood out from the rest. She was always peeking through her blinds, always watching, always ready to point out the smallest infraction. Her name quickly became clear, Karen. She had the HOA on speed dial, and soon after settling in, I found myself the target of her complaints. From where I parked my car to the color of my flower pots, nothing escaped her scrutiny. At first, I brushed it off as harmless nosiness, but then the letters from the HOA started piling up. The letters grew harsher, accusing me of breaking rules that didn't exist, fining me for imaginary violations. Each time, I traced the complaint back to the same source, Karen. She seemed obsessed with making my life miserable, fueled by a sense of control and the HOA's willingness to enforce her pettiness. The neighborhood began to whisper about her constant meddling, but no one dared stand up to her. I knew if I wanted peace, I'd have to fight back. What Karen didn't know was that I had started to watch her just as closely as she watched me. Karen presented herself as the perfect homeowner, always boasting about following every rule. But the more I observed, the more I noticed small cracks. Her trash can sat out longer than the bylaws allowed. Her yard decorations were not HOA approved. And most interesting of all, she had a secret renovation going on in her backyard, something the HOA had never approved. I began taking notes, photographs, and quietly building a file of evidence. If she wanted to play this game, I was ready. All it would take was one well-timed move to expose her hypocrisy. Days turned into weeks, and I kept documenting every violation. The backyard project was the biggest. Hidden behind a tall fence, Karen had constructed an illegal shed that clearly broke the community's design rules. I even found records showing she hadn't applied for permits. I knew this would be my trump card, while she kept filing petty complaints against them. I prepared my case. By the time the next HOA meeting rolled around, I had everything neatly organized. The stage was set, and I knew the entire community would soon see Karen for who she really was. The monthly HOA meeting, Karen came ready with her usual list of accusations. But this time, I was ready. When it was my turn to speak, I calmly presented the evidence, photographs, dates, records, and HOA bylaws. Gasps filled the room as I revealed her unauthorized shed, her constant violations, and her hypocrisy in calling out others. The board members, who had long tolerated her, were stunned. Neighbors who had suffered quietly under her watchful eye suddenly had proof of her double standards. Karen's smug smile vanished, replaced by a look of panic she couldn't hide. The fallout was immediate. The HOA fined Karen heavily, forcing her to tear down the illegal shed. Her constant complaints lost credibility, and the community turned against her. Once feared as the neighborhood watchdog, she was now seen as the hypocrite who weaponized the HOA for her own amusement. For the first time since moving in, I could enjoy my home in peace, my garden thriving without threat of petty fines. Karen had called the HOA on me countless times, but in the end, her own dirty secret destroyed her. And that was the sweetest revenge of all.